From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather, live at 5.
Hey, Fred Gossett here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center on this Wednesday afternoon, live at 5 with your latest local update. We have a lot to talk about, as you can see over my shoulder and the lights here on the set desk. We are in storm alert here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel for the potential for a high impact severe storm threat coming up on Saturday, in addition to the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms overnight on Friday night. We have a lot to talk about. We'll focus on the short-term weather first, and then we'll get to the storm threat that we have coming up in a couple days. We'll begin with the Arctic Air Skycam Network live this afternoon, and it is a beautiful, warm spring Wednesday across the Tennessee Valley. Here's a live look at Lawrenceburg. We're currently 74 degrees with the dew point starting to come up already. It's still dry, but it's starting to come up. 41 degrees is the current dew point. South-southeast wind sustained at 7 miles per hour. There is a bit of a hazy look to the sky. There have been some wildfires in parts of the southeast because of the dry conditions, and that smoke has mixed into the atmosphere. Slide down to the University of North Alabama in Florence for a live look at the shoals. 75 degrees here on the campus of the University of North Alabama at Top Rivers Hall. The dew point is 49, and the live conditions showing a south-southwest wind currently sustained at 10 miles per hour. Barely a cloud in the sky. Some light layers of smoke out there, but otherwise clear skies. But clouds will be increasing as we head into tonight, and then a rain chance on the board as we head into Thursday. Nothing out here locally on live Viper radar. All the sweeps are quiet, mid to upper 70s across the areas. We head into the 5 o'clock hour this afternoon. We'll look regionally and upstream. You see there is a severe thunderstorm watch in the parts of northeast Texas and the Arklatex area. Now, that type of threat with this system tomorrow is going to stay off to the south of us. There could be a couple storms near US 278 that have small hail or gusty winds. We'll detail that in just a moment, but it's mainly just scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder coming in on Thursday. Locally in our part of the southeast, the Tennessee Valley, southern middle Tennessee, northwest Alabama, northeast Mississippi, our severe storm threat really opens up Friday night, and then it's a more substantial threat as we head into Saturday. We'll be going through all those details as we go forward. First off, Futurecast this evening, clear skies out there, dropping quickly into the upper 60s out of the 70s near sunset, and then on down through the 50s as we get into the overnight. But clouds start to move in. We'll get a breezy south wind overnight that stirs up the lower atmosphere. Clouds act as an insulating blanket. We start to add more moisture, so we're not dropping out of the mid to upper 50s for overnight lows. And then a few showers and maybe a rumble of thunder possible off and on from the morning into about the mid-afternoon hours of our Thursday here. Notice that there are a few stronger storms on Futurecast near and just south of our viewing area, mainly along the I-22 corridor from northeast Mississippi to about Hamilton to Coleman or so in North Alabama. One or two of those storms could briefly have a severe thunderstorm warning for gusty straight line winds or small hail, quarter size or smaller. We don't expect a big severe weather threat. I don't see a tornado threat with any of that, but there could be a stray severe thunderstorm warning tomorrow from late morning into the early afternoon that might try to clip portions of southern Tishomingo County or southern Franklin County or southern Lawrence County, Alabama, something like that. But the vast majority of us not having severe storm problems tomorrow, just scattered showers and thunderstorms. Those shift on out of the way as we head into the early evening. We'll be partly cloudy and staying in the 50s once again for Thursday night. And then our attention shifts toward Friday night and Saturday. Much of Friday will be quiet, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. A strong south gradient wind that may gust as high as 30 miles per hour. That's going to move warm, humid, unstable air northward from the Gulf into the area. And during the overnight hours of Friday night and through the early morning hours of Saturday morning, we have round one of a severe weather risk here that's already prompted a level 3 out of 5 risk of severe storms for our area. Now, we're drawing our own maps because, number one, we feel that you come to us for our forecast, not just for us to regurgitate the Storm Prediction Center. We're in agreement with them, but we are putting our own local forecast out because that's what you come to us for. And number two, they have a different update schedule than we do, to where they only update once or twice a day. during the extended range, then it gets more frequently the day of the threat. Number one, we need to update things more frequently than that. And number two, we have to account for our internal logistics with staff scheduling and all that. So that's why we're drawing our own maps. They're in general agreement. We don't disagree with the SPC forecast that's out there. We feel that this is a better way to communicate with you and also for us to handle the situation ourselves. So Friday overnight, late evening, I would say after 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening is the start time. In through daybreak on Saturday morning, we'll watch for round one. Now, this is a questionable threat. There's some uncertainty on whether the storms may be a little more isolated and if they may try to weaken a little bit as they move in here during early Saturday morning hours. We'll be watching for that. But if storms can sustain themselves, and it's very possible, the environment here overnight Friday night into early Saturday morning will be favorable for a few supercell type thunderstorms with the potential for damaging straight line winds, the potential for hail, and not just a couple tornadoes, but one or two strong tornadoes possible. That's EF2 or greater intensity. That's the Friday night, early Saturday morning threat. Those storms eventually weaken Saturday morning and shift off to the north and east of our area. And then we watch the more substantial threat get on the board from late morning or midday on Saturday to about the mid to late evening. I would say roughly anywhere from 10 or 11 a.m. late morning all the way through about 10 p.m. in the evening. That's a long duration threat window, especially when you add the Friday overnight. And it's a long duration threat window Saturday specifically because we're not just talking about one line of thunderstorms. There may be multiple rounds of individual supercell thunderstorms in the midday, afternoon, and early evening that are off by themselves that have the potential for tornadoes before the main final line moves through on the cold front during the mid-evening that may also have rotating thunderstorms. Those supercells ahead of the main line from late morning or midday through the afternoon into the evening hours have the potential also for damaging straight line winds, the potential for hail, the potential for flooding because of multiple rounds of heavy thunderstorms, and a heightened threat of a few long track, fast moving, intense tornadoes, all possible. Currently, our opinion on where the greatest tornado threat and the potential for those long track type tornado threats would be much of Alabama, pretty much the entire state, the eastern 2/3 of Mississippi, and far southern areas of Middle Tennessee where the warm front gets up into the area. That may have to be expanded northward. All right, if you were just joining me, I'm very sorry about that. My batteries died in the middle of me trying to talk here, so I may have to start over. I'm going to have the full forecast update back at 6 o'clock, but I will pick up here. We'll go back to the Friday night threat to make sure that you did not miss that. And then we'll just have the full forecast coming up at 6 o'clock. But starting with the Friday night overnight threat, this is a little bit of a question mark situation. because we're not exactly sure how widespread storms may be. They may trend a little more spotty late Friday night into Saturday morning. They may also try to weaken as they move in, but from after 9 or 10 o'clock Friday night through about daybreak on Saturday, we'll be watching for round one of the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms. There's already a level 3 out of 5 risk in place across our entire area. There may be a few supercells involved with the potential for damaging straight line winds, hail, and the potential for a strong tornado or two being possible, and that's EF2 or greater on the intensity scale. But there's a little question mark still on a capping layer that may hold back some of the thunderstorm development. So this is not a guarantee, but we'll be watching that carefully overnight hours of Friday night. The more substantial threat that we have on the board for Saturday is from the late morning or midday. I would say anywhere from 10 a.m. to noon, going all the way through the mid to late evening Saturday through 10 p.m. That's a large window of 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. here where there's a threat on the board. But this is not just one little line of thunderstorms moving through the area. There could be multiple rounds of significant severe thunderstorms from the late morning to the late evening hours. And they may be these supercell thunderstorms, these individual storms that get off by themselves that are long track instead of it just being a line. And then eventually there will be a main line along the front itself mid to late evening. Both regimes have the potential for damaging straight line winds, hail, flooding, and a tornado threat. And any of those supercells from the late morning and afternoon into the early evening that are out there ahead of the line off by themselves have a heightened threat of a few long track, fast moving, intense tornadoes. Now, we've been looking at the short range model data. We think that type of threat includes all of Alabama, far southern middle Tennessee, a large part of central and eastern Mississippi, into western Georgia. It's going to depend on just how far north that unstable air moves Saturday late morning in the afternoon. We are starting to see signs in the model data that may need to be expanded northward a little bit into portions of Lewis, Murray, and Marshall counties. We'll be waiting through the data tonight, and tomorrow morning we may be expanding this higher risk northward as we get into tomorrow. And then Friday, the day before the event, once we have higher confidence in the small scale details of everything, we may be drawing in a purple area here across parts of the region that would suggest the potential for a few violent type tornadoes. We don't do that often at all, but on the large scale, it's looking like that type of day. It's just a little too far in advance to do that level of a threat just yet, but this may be one of those days where we have a few of those tornadoes that are at the upper end of the damage scale. We don't say that to scare you or to alarm you, but to let you know of the potential seriousness of the threat that we are facing. So what you need to be doing is what we've stressed for the past couple of days. You need to be getting your plan in place. Make sure you have multiple reliable warning methods, including something that will wake you out of your sleep at night and something that does not include you just relying on an outdoor siren. They serve a purpose, but they are supposed to alert you outdoors. And since some of this is an overnight threat and you may be asleep, a siren is very likely to not wake you out of your sleep at 3 a.m. with a loud raging storm outside. So you need a NOAA weather radio, the wireless emergency alerts that are built into your phone for free already. This system that does the Amber Alerts also send tornado warnings to your phone, and they're based on whether you're in the polygon or not. Make sure your phone is set to Do Not Disturb mode Friday night and into Saturday so you can get those. In addition, our free Tennessee Valley Weather app sends push notifications. You have interactive radar. You can also watch our live coverage in the app that's in your app store, either which one you do. Just search for Tennessee Valley Weather. And we also have the weather call service, which will call your phone if you are in a polygon. Now, that's done by an outside company. They charge for that. It's not free. That's not up to us. We're just a partner with them. But it's only $15 for an entire year of a subscription. So it averages out to just over $1 a month. We feel it's worth it because it will call your phone, wake you out of your sleep, including letting you know when there's a confirmed tornado on the ground, not just radar indicated. That is at tnvalleyweather.com/store, the store tab on our website where you can find that. Again, the company that runs that does charge a small fee for that. We're a partner in that, but we feel that it is a worthy thing. Then you need to know your safe place where you will shelter if a warning is issued Friday night, especially Saturday, and that cannot be a mobile home. You have to leave for sturdy site-built structure, even in weaker type tornadoes, but this may be the large long track type, especially on Saturday. And then in your shelter location, helmets for everyone. As simple as a $5 or $10 bike helmet will help protect your head and neck from flying debris. Everyone in the home needs that. That will help save your life if you have the unfortunate event of being hit by a tornado. Now, even on a big tornado day, the odds of it being your one house being hit by a tornado are relatively small, but on a big tornado day, the odds of it being somebody in the threat area are high, and that's when you have to pay attention and be ready. For tonight, late night thunder showers possible toward daybreak. No severe storms expected. Overnight lows in the low to mid 50s across the area. Northwest Alabama, northeast Mississippi, mid 50s or so. Again, a few thunder showers before daybreak. None of those are expected to be severe. 7-day forecast here looks like this. And again, if you missed the first part of the forecast, I'm sorry. Mic batteries went out as I was going on air and I was not aware of that. We will have the full forecast uploaded again at 6 o'clock. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms scattered, especially morning to the mid-afternoon. Not expecting a big severe risk, but there may be a stray severe thunderstorm warning south of the Tennessee River for small hail or gusty winds. A very low threat. Daytime highs in the lower 70s. We're back up to near 80 on Friday. We'll be watching the overnight hours for round one, possibly of strong to severe thunderstorms. A much higher threat of severe weather, including the potential for long track tornadoes coming from the late morning to the late evening of Saturday. It's a potential high impact severe weather threat, clearing and cooler as we go into next week before maybe a few more thunderstorms toward next Wednesday. Again, in case you missed that because my mic was messed up with the batteries at the start of this, I will have the full forecast posted at 6 p.m. here on all the social media, and it will be running on the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. I'll be back at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock with another check of your local weather.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.